Hey, stand by, folks. I'm getting everything adjusted, so we're probably looking at a 9:30 start. 9:30. Stand by.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Time to rise and grind.
Are you kidding me? Holy un smoke!
And let's get this banter going.
It's bacon!
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Does anybody else feel like a fried egg?
And it begins now.
I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell,
I think I just broke my chair. He did what?
Has anybody ever told you you have a
Serious impulse control problem!
There is but one cause for him to follow. Almighty the bum!
And here we go.
Oh, yeah!
The 1-2 delivery. Swing a line drive right field. That's a base hit toward the line. Rendon being waved in. Peterson throws it in toward the plate, and it is not in time. Rendon scores standing on an RBI single for Juan Soto. The Nationals are on the board here in Game 5. Juan Soto drives in his third run of the division series. It's now Los Angeles 3 and the Nationals 1.
Kershaw's 1-0 to Rendon. Swung on, hit of the air to deep left center field. Taylor going back. Warning track at the wall. He leaps. It is gone. Goodbye. Bang. Zoom goes Rendon on the second pitch from Clayton Kershaw. And this is now a one-run game here in the top of the 8th inning. Rendon with his first home run of the series and the postseason. He drives in his 5th run of this series. And it's now the Dodgers 3 and the Nationals 2 with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. He swings and belts one to deep right center field. Way back. Going, and gone. Goodbye. Halfway up the pavilion. A tremendous game. Tying home run by Juan Soto.
Kelly's one-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam. Howie Kendrick has done it. They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout. Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, the Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
Nuts! Let's go! This was redemptive, insane, terrific. I was a little bit scared for a while, but oh, what an ending.
A new legacy has been established. One has remained. Another is just there. And all kinds of stuff going on. Here we go on a Friday. Good morning. And welcome to the Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. We are presented this morning by IBMC Lending. We work with banks nationwide with low FICO scores and high FICO scores. We offer first-time buyer programs and other programs. We now offer grants for those who qualify, and we specialize in mobile home loans and business loans too. Find them online at IBMC Lending. Also brought to you in part by SDW Executive Virtual Assistant, handling your business your way. And that's dear friend Sylvia Wilson, who's in charge of SDW executive virtual assistant. I knew I'd screw that up. But give her a ring, give her a visit, find her on LinkedIn. And I'm going to start where I left off yesterday. Yes, the Giants and the Patriots played last night, and the Patriots wound up winning by 21, 35-14. Giants hung with them for a while, but I want to start with some baseball. And I want to start with the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's kind of where I was yesterday before my emergency came up and I had to leave. I said that actually, I'm not going to start with the Dodgers. I'm going to change that. I'm going to start with the Nationals. And the reason I'm going to start with the Nationals is because they have exercised a lot of demons. Of course, you remember 2012. You remember 2014 when they lost to the Giants in the division series in 5 games. They haven't exercised the demons of 1981. And then at that time, they were, of course, the Montreal Expos. But, man, that slam by Howie Kendrick. Did it ever exercise some demons? 7-3 was that final. And they're probably going to bring Dave Roberts back for another season. But I said yesterday, and I will say again, Dave Roberts, your services are no longer needed. You do not need to manage the Los Angeles Dodgers anymore. You need to go away. Because how can you be a manager of a team that has World Series aspirations every single year, and yet the last 4 elimination games, including 2 in the World Series, you go down on your home field? That's awful. What buttons aren't you pushing correctly to get this done? I have a friend, his name is Jonathan Mathis, who's a big-time Dodger fan. Big-time Dodger fan. And I told him last year that the Dodgers' biggest problem is one they've yet to solve, and it's their pitching. I don't mean their starting pitching. I mean their bullpen. You would think with the Nationals' issues, to say the least, in their bullpen, that they would implode and the Dodgers would sweep this series and take care of business in the nation's capital. Not so fast, my friends, in the immortal words of one Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friends. It's the Dodgers bullpen that imploded in Game 4. Their offense imploded in Game 4, I beg your pardon. Because, let's see, Max Scherzer jogs out of the bullpen, strikes out the sides, hangs up his hat. Okay, I'm done. Y'all finish the game. And they did. You would think a team with 106 wins, best offense in the National League, would find a way to get to Max Scherzer, would find a way to get to Steven Strasburg, would find a way to get to the Nationals bullpen. But as Game 5 showed us, the Nationals bullpen came together and solved the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that they solved the Dodgers bullpen, which was quite easy to do, and that's to get in their bullpen. And Dave Roberts, let me ask you a question. Did you forget that Kelsey Jansen, your hard-throwing closer, was available to you in an elimination game? Because you sure could have trotted him out there for the 10th inning instead of Joe Kelly. And Joe Kelly was great for Boston last year. I understand that. He got you through the 9th inning, gave you all a chance to win. But why didn't you bring Kelly Jansen in the 10th inning? Why? I can't say what's wrong with you because you're in your position and I'm in mine. I'm just someone yapping at the mouth who loves sports and loves analyzing sports therein. I understand that. But be that as it may, why did you not turn to Kelly Jansen? He was available to you. hard thrower against hard swinger and Howie Kendrick, and you couldn't go to Kelly Jansen to finish the game, to finish that inning? My goodness. Why does Dave Roberts push the correct buttons during the regular season to get his team 106 wins, but pushes the wrong button when it comes to the playoffs? I'll say it again. They've lost their last 4 elimination games at Dodger Stadium. 2015 against the Mets, 2017 against the Astros, World Series, by the way, 2018 against the Boston Red Sox, World Series, by the way, and 2019 against the Washington Nationals, Division Series. So it's either feast or famine with the Dodgers. They can roll through the regular season, win the National League West, which they did, but when you get to the playoffs, it's either feast or famine. You either, in this case, it's been famine. You either lose in the Division Series or you lose in the World Series. Only time they didn't get to the World Series during this run was 2016, and that's because they lost to the, dare I say it, Chicago Cubs. I still haven't figured that one out. But it happened. It happened, and can't do anything about it. Now, I'll turn my attention to the Atlanta Braves. Now, I got a lot of praise for the Atlanta Braves. They got to Game 5 of the Division Series this year. But I won't stop there. They have a very young team. They, too, have to figure out a bullpen. And I believe, unlike the Dodgers, I believe Atlanta will. But unfortunately, the truth remains the truth. And the Atlanta Braves got shellacked in a clinching game. A clinching or an elimination game. It was 2 apiece. They got shellacked. 10 runs in the first inning. Mike Foltynewicz could only record 1 out. And between the first out and the second out is when all 10 runs happened. Man, oh man. What can you say about these underdog St. Louis Cardinals? Now you have 2 teams in the National League Championship Series, and I'm going to break this down over the course of the weekend. The League Championship Series in both leagues have been set. I'll touch the American League after the break. And I know I'm running behind, and I got to get to a lot of football, but just bear with me here. You have the Washington Nationals and the St. Louis Cardinals. You have 2 teams that are underdogs playing for the National League pennant. And for very selfish reasons, I hope it goes all 7 games. I want to. The prevalent question is, will the Nationals figure out the bullpen? That is the biggest prevalent question. For St. Louis, will their offensive outburst continue? Will Benji Molina spring a pair of young legs again and race home with another winning run? How will Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg fare against the Cardinals? They eliminated the Dodgers. So as far as I'm concerned, with the elimination of the Dodgers, the division series, and people are not going to like the way I'm going to say this, but it's the truth. The Nationals are playing with house money. Whatever they do beyond this is a bonus. Whatever they do beyond this is gravy on top of a season where they weren't even expected to make the playoffs. And when they got to the playoffs, they were expected to be beaten by Milwaukee. And they were also expected to be, when they got past Milwaukee, they were unceremoniously swept. They were supposed to be, the Nationals were, unceremoniously swept by the champions incumbent in the Los Angeles Dodgers. And that's the funniest part of all. That's the funniest part of all. The Nationals were not even supposed to get this far. And yet, they defeat the Los Angeles Dodgers in 5 games at Chavez Ravine. That's the funniest story ever. But it's also very exciting because now, as I mentioned, you get 2 underdogs playing against each other for a trip to the World Series. Let's go to the American League very quickly before I go to a break, and I'll expand on this. You have 2 juggernauts, one with a legacy established, one trying to establish a legacy, which was saved last night by Garrett Cole. Garrett carried the freight. Let me tell you, Garrett Cole carried the freight for the Houston Astros. The fate was in his hands, and a 4-run first inning did the honors and put Tampa Bay out of their misery. Now, you know what's funny? The only difference between the Yankees and the Astros is 4 wins. Houston won 107, the Yankees won 103. That's the only difference. So it could come down to both of these series going an epic 7 games. But I'm ready to enjoy I'm ready to enjoy some real playoff baseball. And yet, yes, the Yankees are involved, but doggone it, the Yankees took care of business where the Dodgers and the Braves did not. Period. I'll say it again. The Yankees took care of business where the Dodgers and Braves did not. As a matter of fact, Dave Martinez spoke of Howie Kendrick after the slam. Oh, that sound cut out. I apologize.
What I know
there
from
it is.
Howie is he's going to give me everything he has. It may not always be good, but at the end of the day, I know what I'm going to get. And I couldn't be more proud of him just staying in the moment, you know. And, I mean, things happen in this game, but we worked really hard to keep him healthy all year to get him here today. And man, I'm so proud of him. I mean, huge moment for him and for this team.
The strategy versus Kershaw, according to Dave Martinez.
No, we really was trying to get the ball up on him. He's an unbelievable pitcher, and you know, we need to be patient and just see the ball up in the strike zone.
And that's that. The Nationals eliminate the Dodgers, and Clayton Kershaw blames himself.
I know it feels good to win. I know it feels really bad to lose, and it feels really bad to be right in the middle of that tonight. So it's just a bad feeling, man. I don't know how to describe it.
Well, Clayton Kershaw, no truer words have been spoken. You have a 2-run lead in the 8th inning, and you couldn't finish him. Oops. And Dave Roberts, I know he's going to stick with Kershaw, and I know the Dodgers organization is going to stick with him, and I know this. But at the same time, I think Dave Roberts should be moved. As we go to a break, I'll give you the call once again, courtesy of WJFK, Dave Jagler, Charlie Slows, the Nationals radio announce team, on the biggest hit in Nationals history.
Kelly's 1-strike pitch. Swinging a fly ball, center field deep. Bellinger going back to the warning track, to the wall. It's a grand slam. Howie Kendrick has done it. They're going crazy in the Nationals dugout. Howie Kendrick with a grand slam here in the 10th inning of Game 5. The Nationals 7, The Dodgers 3. Do you believe it?
That'll take us to break, and we're presented in part by those cookies. Whether it's the chocolate chip, the peanut butter, or the red velvet cookie crumble, you won't believe that they are gluten-free. That's those cookies. Visit them online at thosecookies.com. And I had a sample of said cookies, and they're awesome. Trust me, they're absolutely awesome. Come back, and we'll talk some more baseball. Yankees and Astros. Uh-oh. Here we go again, and it's going to be another epic series. And we got some football on top of that, and I'm hoping to get Ian Glendon on to talk a few sports. Snowman in the morning, back in a flash.
This is Snowman in the Morning, where true sports talk lives.
Excellent.
Oh, you can.
Boy, oh boy. Got a question. Have you ever drank something so fast your throat freezes? Yeah, that happened to me. Snowman in the Morning brought to you in part by Game Day Guy, providing fans the travel necessities and ticket essentials to support their team while they play under the pressure of away games. Remember, there is no such thing as an away game with Game Day Guy. Visit them online at game-day-guide.com. I want to thank you all for joining us here on this Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Let's get to some highlights and let's get to a wrap-up of the Patriots and the Giants. And you had to figure that the Patriots would find their way, but this is going to be a tough Giants team. They're going to be a tough out. They're going to be a tough out. Got some more football stuff for you later on in the show. This Giants team is going to be a tough out. Especially now since they made the move to Daniel Jones, and I think that Daniel Jones' move was overdue. I mean, yeah, you want to give the incumbent and Eli Manning a shot, but he just wasn't getting the job done. He put in his time. He knew what he knew what he was up against when they drafted Daniel Jones. And like I said, the Giants made the right move. Speaking of the Giants, a few highlights courtesy of WBZ, the chief station of the world champion New England, the 6-time world champion New England Patriots. A block punt got them started.
Dixon back on for the punt for the Giants, standing to our right inside the 5. Olszewski to the left inside the 35. Chest high, snap, punt is blocked, punt is blocked. Bolden blocked it to Winovich, who catches, runs into the end zone. Yes. Touchdown, Patriots!
They made the score 7-0, and then they doubled the lead thanks to Bolden. Sorry, buttons are a little off here. I'm sorry about that. 7-0 Patriots after that block punt was returned for a touchdown, again courtesy of WBZ. Bolden extended the lead.
Johnson in front of Bolden. Lacoste motions left to give to Bolden. He runs it left. Brandon Bolden across the goal line into the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots!
And then the rarest of the rare. Brady scores a touchdown with his legs.
Brady will move under center. Ted Karras. Michelle the single back. Edelman to the right. Olszewski left. It's the quarterback sneak. Brady turns the legs. Surging forward. He's in for a touchdown. New England.
And that's one reason why Brady has done this for such a long time. 20th year. Yeah, I'm not a proponent of Tom Brady, but the facts are out there, and for him to play 20 seasons is incredible to me. Anyway, let's keep the highlights going. Our highlights brought to you by Icing Images. You want to be a sponsor of this here program? Why don't you drop an email to snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. That's snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. And on top of that, everything that you hear is now being moved to one YouTube channel upon the advice of many friends. It's being moved to the Snowman Unfiltered YouTube channel. You'll see and hear a replay of this show, the podcast Snowman Unfiltered, and a whole bunch of other stuff. All in one place. It's the Snowman Unfiltered. And a fumble recovery for the Patriots sealed the deal. I said.
Jones takes the snap. Patriots with a blitz. And a throw to the right. Caught in the flat by Hillman. Nowhere to go. Jamie Collins is there. Ball came loose. Picked up by Van Noy. To the 10, to the 5. Diving to the pylon. Touchdown. They're going to say he's out of bounds.
No, they didn't say he was out of bounds. They said he got in after a review, 28-14. At that juncture, it wound up being 35-14. That was your final. And the Patriots remain undefeated at 6-0 on the year. The other undefeated team in the NFL at this juncture, would you believe the San Francisco 49ers? They're 4-0, looking to go 5-0 on the season. Let's turn our attention elsewhere. And I got Cole Johnson, the man in charge of Cole Sports, on the line. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Okay. We never got a chance to touch this because the last couple of days have been crazy. Why are so many people going ape you-know-what after a preseason Lakers win in the Warriors' new house? Can you answer that for me, please?
As I said before, it is our thirst, it is our desire, it is innate pleasure to see number 23 in the purple and gold succeed on all levels at all times of the year. We gotta see that. We gotta be invested in that. We have to say, oh man, he looks good. No matter what it is, it could be on the court, it could be in a commercial, it could be for business deals. We gotta see him succeed on all levels and at all costs. Even if it is 2 weeks before the regular season begins. Come on.
And last night, these same defending Western Conference champions lit up the Minnesota Timberwolves for 143 points in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me, which team is closer to being in regular season mode?
I've witnessed this. I've seen it. I'm like, look, all this talk about it looks like things are good. Look at how this is going. Look at how AD and LeBron is bonding. Look at LeBron. He's playing the point beautifully. I'm like, is the calendar October 22nd yet? No, then this doesn't matter. Because you can look all great now. I mean, it's now October. You can look good now. You can look good next week. All that's fine. One key injury, the fact that you may run into other teams who look just as good as they did in preseason, but actually look at the regular season, they look good as well. And that all is all dissipated. It all is gone away. It all doesn't matter. Like, cool. All right. It looks nice. It's a dress rehearsal. What are you supposed to expect? You get dress rehearsal material from you. I mean, I could go, hey, you know what about Russell Westbrook taking somebody off the dribble out in Japan? Do you see me do pom-poms for that? No. So, come on.
I had to give you that layup.
It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous that people go, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. All right. The Lakers taking it to the 5 side of the city wasn't out the stands. This is how it's supposed to be done. Do that from mid-October to say 22nd to mid-April and beyond. Then you'll get my attention. Until then, get on my face.
And it's what I've always said, and you've heard me say it on this show, and we've said it to each other off the air. Until you do what the Toronto Raptors have done, and that's take the Warriors out in a 7-game series and beat them 4 times in a 7-game series, and I'm talking to the rest of the Western Conference, shut up.
And you can't tell me, and you definitely can't tell you, it can't be done, because now we've done. And that's all I've said. I'm like, okay, you got your standard bearer. You have your standard bearer. Do what it takes to knock the standard bearer off. If you do that, I shake your hand and gripe. If you can't, don't gripe or complain if it doesn't happen. Because that means that you don't have what it takes to knock the standard bearer off the first. Period. You know, so,
and except for the Toronto Raptors, I'm not even giving the Cavaliers this satisfaction from 2016, and you know my reasons why. And you and I share the same reasons why. I only see the Toronto Raptors. I only saw the Toronto Raptors fair and square, and there's a reason I'm mentioning this, knock off the Golden State Warriors 4 times in a 7-game series. What did I do the day after it was done? I came right on this show and said, congratulations, Toronto Raptors. The Raptors were the real deal. We said it all spring long.
Yep.
We said it all spring long that it's not Milwaukee that was going to be the toughest out for Golden State. It was the Raptors.
Yep.
And no one believed us. You and I both said it on this show last spring. Last spring, we said Toronto would be a tough out. Why didn't anyone believe us when we said it?
And you know what's so funny? During that season, we actually got a chance to see why they would be tough out for the Warriors. We actually saw it in the regular season, which is rare, but we actually saw why they would be tough out then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there isn't another team, and I still say isn't now, months later, there isn't another team who has the type of player that Kawhi is, who knows how to play hard on both ends of the court and is a wing guy. You know, and people can say, well, you have that in Giannis Antetokounmpo. I said, no, that's a big guy. That's just
Yep.
a big guy that can play both ends of the floor, can take over the game. It's difficult on both ends of the floor. Yeah, I mean, and has the ability to either pick up or slow down the tempo. I mean, he has a real high IQ. It's hard to defend him. You know this because you saw that with the Warriors when they were fully healthy. You know, when you have that type of player, like you had in Durant, it's hard to defend that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to defend. You have somebody who's on the court. You don't have a player that is equal to that caliber. You can't do anything. You can be the Warriors, you can be the Rockets, you can be the Lakers. I don't care which team that was in the finals. You were not going to beat the Raptors. You just weren't. You just weren't.
And you mentioned Giannis. I love Giannis. I love his game. But I have a huge problem with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I've said it for 2 years on this show. He's a fantastic talent who's getting better. I'll give you that. But what were the 4 words I said about Giannis that proved true against Toronto? It's pretty simple. Giannis Antetokounmpo can't shoot.
The problem is, for him to get to the next level, he needs to develop a shot. No question. But I think he doesn't really need to really shoot all that much. And here's why I say that. When you're a dude that's 6'11", and you actually do have the strength to play, not necessarily off the dribble, you don't necessarily have to do that. But you can just simply destroy people in the paint. You could do that all game long. But the problem with that is you have how today's NBA is. This is wonderful news. That's how today's NBA is versus how the NBA was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Big men would post up little men in post. Men would find their way to just lead their way through trees and either shoot or find a big man to score. Wing players, they had a mid-range jumper. That is how it used to be. How it is now?
Yeah. Does the name James Worthy mean anything to you?
Yeah. One of the quickest wing players we've ever seen.
Does the name Scottie Pippen mean anything to you?
Another one with a motor that just went through the motor and had a high IQ of how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But today's game, little man shoots the three, wing man shoots the three, big man shoots the three. Like, what variation do you have to set yourself apart? What are you doing?
What was your name for the league? The 10 Wing League?
Because everyone wants to be a wing player. Point guards all want to be wing players. I'm like, no. These are the guards of the small. Those are pretty much the type of wing players you want to have run up and down the floor. So you have your point guard be the general. You have your center basically be the guy who is the background of the He's talented enough to really be your number one scorer, and you have your power forward be the enforcer. You can do that now and still be successful.
Yep.
With the defending champs. That's how they got the championship because that's how they were built.
Yep.
And so, I mean, yeah. So Giannis doesn't really need to. He doesn't really need to shoot. However, if he's going to assimilate to how they play in today's game, you're right. That's going to be a downfall if he wants to be that type of player. Because to me, if he wants to be a taller version of a friend, he can do it. Not the way his game is now. No.
But people want to see. I'm not one of them. But people want to see the 10-wing league. People want to see how that goes. You're not one of them, and I'm not one of them. I remember the positions: small forward, power forward, center, point guard, shooting guard. Isn't that how everything should be? I mean, who's the greatest shooting guard ever? I believe he wore number 23.
Yep. That's how it's supposed to be. And I mean, the game was built that way for a reason. And if we all wanted to have 10 wing players or 10 shooting guards, we would have that. We don't want that.
No.
It's cool that people can hit these. Hey. It's cool that people can take others off the dribble and dunk. Yay. But if all of you try to do that, most of you look absolutely silly.
Yep. Yep, that is so true.
Of the sport, and I think you would go further. But come on, right?
And you know what? You know what's scary? People want, like I said, people want to see this 10-wing stuff. Folks like you and I don't, because we know what the NBA and its principles therein were built upon. And speaking of principles, I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to lead you on a red carpet, and that red contains the red of the Houston Rockets. Over the years, what in the hell has happened to the integrity of that franchise?
I never thought that the team that I love basketball-wise would turn into such whimpering, whining, complete cowardly cry babies. I never would have thought that would be the case. Why do I say whining?
If it was the Akeem Olajuwon, Kenny Smith era, they wouldn't be crying about it. They'd say, we got beat by a better team.
And that's what angers me the most. I know the lineage and the legacy of this team. I mean, I could go back, and I'm not going to do that. But I can go back and tell you this team constituted today is not what that lineage of this has been for the last 50 years. It has not.
No.
So, when I say winning, just look at James Harden, and you don't have to hear what he says off the court. Just look how he was on the court. How he complains about every single foul he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at Morey. Just look at the general manager of Morey. I mean, he just simply whines about every single thing, and he is excited about it because he could have. In his complaint this year about the year before his Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
He could have done it then and there, but no, he waits 11 months. It's to the day 11 months. Complain about a series that's long gone for a freaking year. And because of his statement, he has set off international incident. Now, it's embarrassing. The team is now in embarrassment because now you're thinking when you think Houston Rockets, you think that's an organization that's petty with the fan base. That's an organization that seems to always want to cry and whine about the fact that James Harden doesn't get MVP love. He's the 2018 MVP. It's the same organization that the general manager that other people besides Michael Jordan, because of analytics, is the greatest player of all time. And the only voice of reason to me seems to be the owner, Timothy Fertitta. How crazy is that?
When you said that statement to me, what Daryl Morey said about James Harden being greater than Michael Jordan, you want to talk about the most blasphemous statement I ever heard in my life? And this is minus all of the vitriol I've passed on about one LeBron James and how they compare him to the greatest of all time. And you know my stance on that. James Harden? Better than MJ? Show me where. Please?
Yeah. And in the place where his argument will be strongest, which would be actually averaging a 30 more points in each season, 30 points per game in a season. Jordan averaged higher in it than he did. The argument doesn't even fall flat. The argument doesn't even roast on as clean as Jim and James Harden is greater than Michael Jordan comes out of Maurice mouth.
Where did he get that statement? I just want to know where.
I saw that, man, and I'm like, I had to do a double take. I was like, wait. Like, hold on. I need to go to my optometrist to get my eyes checked again. Is this buffoon saying Harden because of analytics is better than Michael Jordan? How is that possible? How is you compare just now is averaging 30 points a game in the year to a guy that did that half his career, more than half his career. No. You compare who just came into the promise of averaging 30 points a game to a guy who averaged it for his career. Come on, get out of here. Move.
I'm going to have to let you go because I got to get Ian Glendon on the line. But thanks for coming on, buddy. I know I'm going to have you again next week. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh, Lordy. Daryl Morey, what are you thinking? Even stating James Harden, because of analytics, is better than Michael Jordan. And we're talking about, for me, the greatest player that ever played. All right? Let me go up east and welcome the man in charge of full press coverage, my good friend Ian Glendon, to the Friday festivities. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. This is it's been a while. I'm glad to be back.
It has, man, and I couldn't do a name change. I just couldn't do it. After talking with my wife, she says, "Look, your nickname is a brand now. Keep it out there." I couldn't do it. I couldn't sacrifice the name change.
No, I don't blame you, and hey, you know what? It's a pretty cool name, so you might as well stick with it.
Okay, now let's get into this. Patriots win. They're still 6-0. They're still undefeated at 6-0.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a moment. But why are people still doubting the other undefeated team, which just happens to be my beloved 49ers? Why are people still doubting them?
Because they're new, and I think a lot of people are still. I think a lot of people are still wondering whether or not Jimmy Garoppolo is. I don't know why. All the guy does is win football games.
Thank you.
So I happen to really like the 49ers. I like their coaching. I like their play calling. I like what Kyle Shanahan is doing out there, and I think maybe people were a little too quick to anoint the LA Rams as the team in that division because I see a lot of good things out of San Francisco.
I picked the 49ers to win the division and at the very least snatch a wild card. They play the Rams this weekend, and the Niners are going to be shorthanded on offense, but I still believe in the 49ers going to Southern California and getting the job done.
Yeah, and I think there were some reasonable concerns about how well or how poor Jimmy Garoppolo might play coming off the injury, and that would be true for any quarterback. I think he's been really good. I think he eventually will have to clean up the turnovers a little bit because he is, at a little bit higher clip than you
Yeah.
would probably like.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, that's something you can attest to, just obviously getting the feel of playing football again and really getting used to this offense, because he really hasn't had a chance, except for the start of the season, to really dive into it. And look, they're undefeated. So, and I mean, look, the defense is really, really good. You see how good that pass rush is and how effective they are at getting to the quarterback and causing havoc in the backfield.
That pass rush is dynamite. And Nick Bosa is finally healthy. D Ford is there as well. DeForest Buckner. That front four, they don't need to bring pressure with their linebackers. But as we saw Monday night, when they do, it's even more trouble.
Well, I think Chiefs fans were quick to want to get rid of D Ford because of something that they blamed their AFC Championship loss on, which was a unfortunate penalty. But let's face it, the guy's a talented pass rusher, and at this point in their careers, he's better than Frank Clark. And I think it's a pretty fair assessment when you look at both the film and the numbers that D Ford is a better player at this point in their career than Frank Clark, which obviously the Chiefs got to replace him. But hey, you know what? That's good for the 49ers, because one team's trash is another team's treasure, and he just fits very well in with this group of players and everything like that. So I'm excited to see it, and hey, maybe, just maybe, we can get this as a Super Bowl matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Mike and I already put it out there, okay? And I'm putting it out there with you. Brady versus Garoppolo in Miami on February 4th. You want to talk about getting the juices flowing, and I'll make you a promise, and I made the same promise to Mike. Should that matchup happen, we're doing a Super Bowl special live on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to make the trip down here, because Miami is just a hop, skip, and a jump from where I am. So.
Hey, Miami's not far from me either. Okay,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Miami's not far from me either. Wife and I are looking for an excuse to get to Miami. How about that Super Bowl matchup? But now with those two teams being undefeated, and now with people beginning to see what the 49ers can do, they already know what the Patriots can do. That's already been established. But the 49ers, you can say it's a return to glory for them. Imagine if Brady and Garoppolo meet in the Super Bowl.
Well, think about the added element of, everyone knows that, Tom Brady grew up a 49ers fan, being from San Mateo and everything. Garoppolo too, Julian Edelman. I mean, it's the connection between these guys is obviously, more than just being on the Patriots. But it would be a great story, and it would be fun for especially Patriots fans, because I think there's a special feeling that they have about all these guys, and I'm including Jacoby Brissett, because I mean, for you to get a Patriots fan to be sympathetic for the Colts, there really has to be something that just like bridges the gap.
Yeah.
And that's our love and appreciation for Jacoby Brissett, and the fact that, I mean, the three of these guys still seem to have a pretty special friendship or whatever when it comes to just all being together for that one season. But it's really transcended, I guess, teams at this point. But yeah, look, it would be fun from obviously a storyline standpoint, and then just a football standpoint. I mean, I think you're looking, I think the 49ers, for obvious reasons, have more questions to answer, because they're, like you said, they're looking to get back to where they were. I mean,
exactly.
We know what the Patriots are, and all these people out there, and obviously I've been up for a couple hours, so I've seen it all already.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone out there, of course, that's questioning whether or not the Patriots are a good team.
Listen, I don't question that. My favorite QB of all time is Montana, who preceded Brady. And you and I spoke on the show. If there's a tie with 1A and 1A, it's Montana and Brady. Okay? Well, I don't question I don't question Tom Brady. I don't question the Patriots or Bill Belichick. The evidence has been out there for 20 years. Mm-hmm. 20 years. Evans, the same way that the 49ers had Montana and Young, the Patriots have Brady. You want a correlation? There you go.
Yeah, it's a pretty big correlation. I mean, people sit here and say, oh, wins aren't a quarterback stat. Well, go ahead and check out the top 10 list in quarterback wins and tell me how many bad quarterbacks are on that list. And the lone exception, and I'm pretty sure he's still in that mix, is Eli Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And he's and I'm not calling him a bad quarterback. I'm
Right.
not calling him a great quarterback. He's an enigma for many reasons.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
what makes his story great. But look at that list and you tell me, okay, so does anyone on that list deserve not to be on that list? Okay, we can break it down further if you want, but
Young,
it's just
Montana, Brady, all on that list. Peyton, look, who doesn't deserve to be on that list, man? Like you said.
Exactly. All those guys are you just talked about probably of the 6 greatest quarterbacks in this league. They're all within that list.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can argue Young is closer to 10 than 6, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Montana, Brady, Peyton, those are my personal top 3. Overall.
No complaint.
Hey,
no complaint here. No complaint here. Saw the rise of all of those eras. No complaint here.
I knew you'd be agreeing with me.
How can I complain when I've watched, as much as I watch football and I've seen the evidence and I've seen all 3 of those quarterbacks grow into their legend? Okay? That's what Garoppolo's is doing, growing into his legend. He's only started 14 games. You want to know how he's doing from his knee injury? I think he's doing pretty doggone good right now. He's got to cut down the turnovers. 49ers have to do the same. And I go back to the game against Pittsburgh. How in the world did they turn the ball over 5 times and steal that game? That should have been a wipeout.
Yep, and that really speaks to, I mean, when you're talking about, if you want to talk about nuance or, the little games within the games, those are the things that you look at because, look, it's October. You can't make a definitive claim about any team at this point because, again, there's so much of the season left. But you can look at hints and clues and look at how this team responds to adversity or, having their backs up against the wall and climbing hills like that. And it's like, to me, those are signs that at the end of the day, you're gonna be able to build and grow off that and then use that to get through certain situations later in the season when you really need to. So, I like seeing stuff like that. I like seeing teams struggle and then be able to turn it around within a game, kind of like what the Patriots did on offense last night. They struggled and, they came out at the end of the day, there's the same old Patriots offense, despite what people may say. So.
Yeah, and they scored 30 points again. How about that? Yeah. And they scored 30 points again.
Yeah, and it's like, look, I knew it was going to happen. The second Brady threw that interception, and no one will talk about the 30-mile-an-hour winds. Or to me, just thought that...
And what's fun though?
Sorry, you cut off.
I'm sorry about that. You know what's fun though? Let them talk. You folk like you, I, Mike, my friend Cole, anybody who really watches the game, they know the clues. They know what's going on.
Well, it's fun, and like I said, deep down I enjoy it because it keeps my, my debate and argumentative side of me fresh and up to snuff.
I've seen your tweets, man. I've seen your tweets, man, and I laugh at everyone who responds to it. Okay, like I said, the guy who did it for me is Montana, but to see Brady do what he did, Young, Peyton Manning, especially watching Brady do it for 20 years with one team, the evidence is out there, okay? But people are still going to doubt the Patriots. They're still going to doubt the Patriots.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, that's part of it, though. I mean, I kind of like it. And if we know anything about the Patriots, all these clips of the Nick Wrights and the Shannon Sharps and the Rob Parkers, they're using all of this.
They are.
We're going to see it in next year's Super Bowl DVD when they're recapping Super Bowl 54 and the Patriots' 7th Super Bowl win. They're going to play all of those things.
If the 7th win happens, have it happen against a legendary team like the 49ers. Okay,
yep.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Either the Patriots get 7 or the Niners tie it and get 6, and then we'll meet again to see who breaks the tie. How about that? How about that to get on everybody's nerves? I'll love it.
As much as I love you, my selfish side just says, I want it all. and I'm perfectly fine admitting that. I want it all. I want to win every year, and that's it. No exception.
Hey,
But
you
I
and
do
I,
want.
yeah, you and I are the same. You are the same way. You with the Patriots, me with the 49ers. But imagine them in 2 consecutive Super Bowls.
Oh,
How
that'd be
much would
great.
that turn the NFL on its ear?
Oh, that'd be great, especially if Patrick Mahomes stays out of the Super Bowl. What are they going to do?
Exactly.
What are they going to do?
Brady versus Garoppolo, 2 straight years.
No,
That'll get you going.
it'll be fun. And look, we talk because we're fans of each team, but look, from a football standpoint, it looks like it would shape up to be a good matchup. I mean, you got obviously Kyle Shanahan. The storyline's there. Kyle Shanahan, obviously, with Atlanta in Super Bowl 51. That's there. But obviously the Garoppolo Brady relationship, everything. I mean, there's so much to dive into it that relates to football. The X's and O's. It'd be an incredible matchup.
It will be, and it might be the highest scoring Super Bowl ever with these 2 teams. You never know. Ian Glendon, the man in charge of full press coverage, joining me. I will have you back next week. Next week. And
absolutely.
I appreciate you coming on, my man.
No problem. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Ian Glendon, the man in charge of full press coverage, joining me. And now I want to jump into some college football. Everybody sees what's going on out front with college football, who gets ranked, who doesn't get ranked. But I want to dive into the darker side of college football. And to help me do that, the man in charge of the Inscriber magazine and a fan of the Ohio State University, Mr. Robert Cobb, joins me right now. Dogfather, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Brian? How you doing, big man?
Big man's doing great, brother. Big man's doing great. We talked about this subject, and when you mentioned it in a group chat, it got the wheels turning. I was going to write about it, but I figured let's make it a live segment right now.
Okay.
Please tell the fans what you discovered about the dark side of college football and its rankings, and why some teams continue to get snubbed.
Well, the reason why a lot of teams get snubbed is because of who they are, who their brand is, and that how it works is that as people who don't know, is that obviously the Inscriber, we have a relationship with the Mid-American Conference.
Yep.
And I had the pleasure of going down to the Mid-American Football Conference Media Day back in 2016, where I had the chance to meet and talk to officials from the Fiesta Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and even the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And during my conversation with them, what I learned and gleaned from them is that they pick teams based on their brand and what they can bring in terms of fans to the stadium and their revenue, because it's all about big names and which programs draw the most. They don't care about which teams they feel will win. They want to make money. They care about the branding. That's basically what it is. Like, say, for example, as an Ohio State fan, I know this for a fact. Do you always wonder why Ohio State, whenever they're not in the college playoffs, they always get selected for the Fiesta Bowl? Do you know why?
Their draw. Their brand. Their draw.
Well, not just that, but also the fact Ohio State has the largest alumni group in the country in the Southwest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of displaced former Ohioans, snowbirds, that live in the Phoenix-Glendale area. Thus, they have a footprint in Arizona. That's how they're also able to get recruits from Arizona, too. But if you notice, when Ohio State played in the Fiesta Bowl against Notre Dame a few years ago, there was more Ohio State fans than Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Like almost 2-1.
Yeah.
Because there's a large Ohio State alumni presence in the Phoenix area.
So now it comes to the argument that we love to have, or the discussion, I should say, we love to have about One Central Florida. Now, yeah, they've lost twice this year, once to Pittsburgh, and I know you covered that game, and once to Cincinnati. But go back 2 years ago to that undefeated season. UCF defeated everybody on their schedule, and yet they weren't even close to making the playoff. You explained that one better than I did. I believe you did an article about that on the Inscriber, did you not?
I do believe so, yes. And best way I can explain it again is that it's all about politics. It's all about college football. What they're afraid of, the powers that be in college football, they're afraid of UCF calling them out and exposing their secrets. The fact that they will choose a 2-loss SEC team over a team like UCF because they're not a part of a Power 5 conference.
Right.
They will use that argument forever and ever because they are scared of the reality that UCF, with the recruits that they're getting, the growing problem that they present, they are scared that UCF will blow out the team that they're facing. That's why you have all these trolls and all these naysayers and people trying to downgrade UCF. But deep down inside, they are scared out of their you-know-what, that if UCF plays their team and smokes them, they are scared of UCF.
Just ask the Auburn Tigers from the Peach Bowl in Atlanta.
And you notice how all those so-called fans of Auburn, they try to make excuses saying, oh, they weren't ready for it or they didn't care about it. No, they showed up, they played, they just got beat.
They got destroyed.
They got
destroyed in Atlanta. They don't want to. They absolutely don't want to admit it. And that's the second time that year they lost in Atlanta. Because remember, they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game at the same stadium. And then they get blown out by UCF. So all the time, all the folks from Auburn, oh, we weren't ready for that game. Yeah, you were. You had 4 weeks to prepare for UCF. UCF had the same amount of time after winning the American Conference. They showed up in Atlanta and kicked your ass. Deal with it.
Yeah, David. One thing I noticed about Southern football fans, they are very insufferable and very stubborn to admit when they've lost.
Yes.
They will not admit anything. They'll come up with every excuse under the sun other than admit that they've lost.
And it happens all the time. It happens all the time, and it's going to continue to happen. Staying on the dark side of college football, why teams that should be in the college football playoff won't be, and matchups, even in conference championship games. And there's a reason I'm going here. Even in conference championship games, that won't get as much television coverage or whatever kind of coverage because of an opponent. And I bring this up because of the matchup last year in Indianapolis between the Northwestern Wildcats and the Ohio State Buckeyes. 2/3 of the country was for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I just wanted to see a good game. Yes, I'm a fan of the Northwestern Wildcats. Yes, I knew what we were up against, and Northwestern gave Ohio State all kinds of hell in Indianapolis. But riddle me this. Why did not anybody speak of the fight that Northwestern put up, even though they lost by 21 points in that game? Why won't anyone speak, aside of the folks who really watched the game, of the fight that Northwestern put up in that championship game in Indianapolis?
They don't want to admit that Northwestern's becoming a good team, a formidable team. They're scared of that reality. Same as what I said earlier about SEC fans or college football fans in general about UCF. UCF scares them because they know deep down inside UCF's about to become a new college football power, which I've been saying for like almost 3 years now.
Yeah, you have.
And I've had the ability, and I can say this, I can speak from fact of actually watching them and covering them 3 times now, twice in Orlando, once in Pittsburgh, and hopefully if things work out, I'll be in Philadelphia for the UCF Temple game at the Link. So,
that's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are scared of that reality.
They're scared of teams like UCF, like a Northwestern. Hell, let's put Cincinnati in this equation because of how they beat UCF.
Hey, I will say this while we're talking about that for a millisecond. I will tip my hat to both Pitt and Cincinnati for playing the way they did against UCF.
Right.
I mean, when I was at Heinz Field, I can tell you this right now, the energy on the field was incredible. You could tell Pitt was ready to go. They were raring to go. They had the crowd behind them. They had the overrated chant. They had a lot of things going good for them earlier. They were ready to go.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's a tough place to play, especially at night. Mm-hmm. And I know Neifert played them pretty well. And I was not surprised that UCF lost that game either because you got a freshman quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. I'm going to say this right now on your show. Record it, save it, play it back as a loop. I don't care. Dylan Gabriel is going to be a Heisman finalist in 2022.
You know what? I'll give you that.
He's got that ability.
Change the word in that. Change the word in that sentence. Not a finalist, winner. I think he's going to win it. One of these years, I think he's going to win it.
He could, yeah. I'll say that, but I'll say this right now. I mean, Mackenzie Milton looks like he probably might come back as early as next year after seeing how he looked on the sidelines in Pittsburgh, up close and in person. You know, he's got the brace on right now, but it looks like he's moving around a little bit more and stuff.
That's
and
great.
He's still got a little bit of a gimp, but he looks good for the most part.
And I've had a chance to see Mackenzie Milton in person 2 years ago in Cincinnati. And I sung his praises with an article on your website as well as a few others, including my own. I sung his praises then, and I'll continue to sing him. Mackenzie Milton is that damn good.
He is. He's solid. He's solid. People need to stop making excuses about the fact that UCF plays in a non-Power 5 conference. They better wake up and get real with the fact that they are a problem. They are not going away anytime soon.
No,
and the
they're
fact
not.
And the fact that they are changing the conversation about the playoff system, which does need to be expanded to 8 teams. That's why big name programs have a problem with UCF.
Should have started with 8.
Right?
Should have started with 8. And I'll give you a team that they should have started this conversation with many years before. Do the Boise State Broncos mean anything to you?
Well, obviously, we have two very good upcoming articles on the Inscriber, actually. One talks about Boise State and UCF finally scheduling each other.
Yes.
And the other one about, the inside track as to who has the New Year's Six Bowl, which is a little late. I apologize.
That's all right.
Editing the photos and stuff. But you know what? College football needs a nice rivalry, a nice bi-coastal rivalry of the two top teams in the group of 6 or whatever. And Boise State and UCF could become that rivalry. Boise State started the trend of non-Power 5 teams, and now UCF is the newest one. And having those two play against each other, that's great, man. I'll be happy to be in Orlando for that one, and I will be going out to Boise State for the other one.
I'll join you for both. Wife and I are looking to make some moves, and she wants me to make some broadcasting moves. So I will join you, especially for that first one, down in the Bounce House, and we'll close
All
there.
right.
Tell
Sounds
everybody
good.
how the Bounce House is. You've had a chance to see Spectrum Stadium and be in there for a couple of big games. Describe the atmosphere in the Bounce House.
The atmosphere is unbelievable. What you see on TV doesn't do it justice live. I mean, you have the stadium itself. It only holds 45,000, but we got the fans going. We got that music blasting, and the whole stadium is made out of aluminum for the most part, right? So the stands, they create this wavy, bouncing effect. And then you have the students that wave their cell phones around, and you see that light, it bounces. It's that bouncing effect, and combine that with the noise, because the stadium is closed in.
Yes, it is.
So you try being on the football field hearing 45,000 screaming fans making that noise, and you'll see why. Like when I was there last year for the Cincy game, Cincinnati had 3 false starts to start the game because the noise was so loud.
Yep.
They couldn't hear their signals. They had to go to a silent town.
Yep. We'll definitely join you in Orlando for Boise State and UCF. We will definitely join you for that. All right. So.
All right, definitely.
Let's make the plans to get that done. That's Robert Cobb.
Well, how about this? We'll do lunch down in Charlotte for the Saints Panthers game.
You're on. That's December 29th, is it not?
I got to get going though, buddy.
All right. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. You take care down there. Tell the wife I said hi.
I will. Thank you, brother.
Later.
Had a great time on the show this morning, and I want to thank Ian Glendon for coming on. I want to thank Cole Johnson for coming on, and I want to thank my buddy Robert Con. All 3 fellas that I had on are buddies of mine. Snowman Overtime will make its premiere today, and we'll have the picks from my buddy Mike Debate. We will do our picks, and you'll see them on the Snowman in the Morning website as well as the Snowman Unfiltered website. Everything about the Snowman will be enclosed on snowmanunfiltered.com. We're building that site to make it happen that way. We are presented by SDW Executive Assistant, by IBMC Lending, by Game Day Guide, by Home Health Care, and by ThoseCookies.com. Catch the podcast every day beginning at high noon. We'll be back on Monday with a full show. Till then, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. I am and I hope you are too. Have a great weekend, folks. I'll be back Monday, wrapping up Week 6 of the NFL and saying that the 49ers beat the Rams. I hope. I'm out of here. See you Monday. Till then, Snowman out.